Hi, this is Terry Chimes, RockandRoll Confessions. Today we're talking to Pauline Murray from Penetration. Still going today after all those years. I remember so well. Right, Pauline. Now, before we kick off, we were chatting before the camera started rolling about when we last saw each other and couldn't remember. And I remember very well. I don't know why, because I was absolutely sloshed. But what happened was, just after I left the Clash, I was hanging around somewhere. Bernard Rhodes was there, and he said, there was a girls' band called the Loos,
Yes,
a girl band,
yes.
and Bernie was managing them, I guess, or helping them, and he was sending them off to Italy with you lot.
That's right.
And he said, "Do you want to go along there?" I said, "What for?" He said, "Well, you can keep an eye on them, maybe give me a few tips or help them out or whatever." And I'd never been to Italy. I thought, "Oh, well, that sounds fun. Okay, I'll go along." So I went along. But when you're touring, you've got to focus. You've got a job to do. But then I didn't have anything to do, really. So I just got completely drunk every night on Italian wine and stuffed loads of pasta down my face. But I had a nice time, really.
Yeah, well, what happened with that? The Clash was supposed to be going there.
Oh, is that what it was? I never knew
Yeah,
that.
and we were supposed to be supporting, I think. And again, we'd never even been on an aeroplane. Do you know what I mean? Like we were like 18-year-old. It's
Yeah.
very early on that.
Everyone was young, yeah.
And for some reason, the Clash weren't doing it, so we were doing it still. And then they got the Loos to do it, you know?
Actually, I remember the guys in the Clash were there, at least a couple of them were there, and they looked really
Were they?
angry. I don't know
I
what
just can't remember that.
major row. Must be about that trip. I don't know. Anyway, we'll never know.
Yeah.
But I had a nice time.
Right. Well, you must have been travelling with the Loos and we were travelling separately. And
Yeah.
all I can remember about the Loos is we stayed in a hotel on the Adriatic coast because some of the venues were like discos.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
It was weird. All of it was
All
weird.
of it was weird.
The way the fans were as well, the makeup and clothes.
yes.
What the hell?
Yeah, in Rome and that, they were all dressed up.
Yeah.
And then as we went further afield, it was all like really flash discos that we didn't seem to have here with the floors lighting up and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was on this big hotel on the Adriatic coast, and it was out of season. It was maybe February or something like that. There was no one in the hotel. It was like The Shining, you know. And
Hopefully not.
we were all in there, and the Loos and some of our fellas raided the kitchen. So there was nothing to eat.
Oh, I'd forgotten that.
They raided the kitchen and spat in the jars of, you know,
And someone took a dead bird and put it somewhere.
I don't
forget
know
where.
about that.
There was a little dead bird, like a quail or something.
Oh, I don't know about
And
that.
someone put it somewhere, and in the morning the chef went nuts because it was some kind of, I think it was black magic or mafia, or I don't know what they thought it was, but they went mad. I mean, it was only a little joke, and it was, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'd forgotten all about that trip and that part of it.
Yeah. And they raided the kitchen because there was nothing to eat. There was no one around, and I think they were spitting in jars of pickled eels and stuff, you know, like God. The Italian love all the sort of
pickled stuff,
pickled things and all that. And I remember that. And then after that, I remember that the promoter went bust and we all got sent home.
I think we ate him out of house and home.
I don't know. I can't remember any of those.
That's
sort
a shame.
of
I didn't know he
details.
went bust. I liked him. He was a nice guy, but I don't think he knew what he was doing.
No, I don't think he did. I think he was bluffing it, and I think he realised there was no one coming. And having said that, one of them, and I can't remember the name of the place, I got contacted not long ago by these two lads who'd gone to that gig from Venice or somewhere, and said we were at this particular gig, and I think the lad now runs some type of punk museum somewhere. You know, but there was people there who travelled to go to it.
I've got people on my social media who were at one of those shows, whichever one. It's funny, isn't it?
Might be the same person, because there can't be many there. I mean, you know.
Someone said to me the other day, you always meet people twice. So you've got to be nice to them the first time, so they're nice to you the second time. So that was weird. And then another time I saw you, I had a band called Cowboys International, and we worked with you on a tour. It was UK, I think.
Right. Yes, it was the last Penetration tour in
79.
December 79.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
were you drumming with them?
Yeah.
with Ken Lockie
That's it.
and the guitarist Alan,
Alan, that's it.
because we got Alan to play on the John Peel session we did of Dream
Oh, really? I
Sequence.
didn't know that. That was fun, that tour as well, I think.
It was good. I mean, we split up at the end of it, you know, but
All bands split
I
up,
think
don't they,
that was a
eventually?
watershed moment where I think it had all just turned into something different, you know. I think we were all very tired by then and personally, you know, quite disillusioned with it all, you know.
Well, everyone gets to that eventually, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of bands were sort of disintegrating around that time. So, yeah.
I think if you're touring, you lot like you're very busy touring every night.
All the time.
And that can just weigh you down, can't it?
We were doing, you know, maybe a support of on Buzzcock's 30-day tour.
Yeah.
You know, you did big tours then.
Yeah.
Now you can't believe what happened.
Yeah.
You'd get back from that and then you'd start your own 30-day tour.
Yeah, 30 doesn't sound like much when you sound quick, but doing it's just endless, isn't it?
It is. I mean, people don't do that now. Well, maybe they do.
Well, the Pistols are going on a massive tour.
Yeah.
And they're much older now, but
I do see people doing loads and loads and loads of dates. I mean, Public Image. I look at the dates they put in, and then he does his book things as well. And I think, wow, how are you managing to do all that? I went to see them in Amsterdam last year or the year before, and they had such a schedule. It was like Amsterdam one day, south of Spain the next, and all that.
Oh, too much.
And they were looking really ill. I thought, there's something going to happen here. This just can't be right.
Yeah, people break.
And
don't
then Rambo, he died about 5 weeks later. You know, it's so antisocial or unsocial because you finish and there's nothing to eat. They were ordering in, you know, curry takeaways at like midnight and
or later,
eating them and I'm thinking,
not a healthy lifestyle,
this can't be going to have a good ending.
But we did it when we were 20, and these guys are doing it now. You know,
we did. And I mean, back in the day, there was never anything open.
No.
You'd do your gig, and we used to call in at a Kentucky Fried Chicken somewhere to the doss house of a hotel.
Yeah.
And
I was vegetarian, so that was even more difficult.
Well, that must have been very difficult because that was not accounted for at all.
Especially abroad. I remember going to a pizza place in Paris. They've got a vegetarian pizza. They said, well, we've got chicken.
Yeah,
They were quite serious.
Yeah. Well, we toured America for 5 weeks and I lived on McDonald's hot ice cream sundaes.
Oh, God.
I mean, needless to say, when I got back, I was about 7 stone. My mum thought I'd been like caning it with drugs or something. But I just hadn't been eating. I didn't like the food at McDonald's. I didn't want to eat it.
Yeah.
And there's never anything to eat. So that coupled with the tiredness of doing late shows, the amount of energy you put out to do it, the late nights, we were travelling overnight in America to get to the next place.
Oh, and they're long distances, aren't they?
And we were doing 2 shows a night in some places.
Really?
And by the end of it, when that all set the split up in motion, really, it was like, I can't be doing this.
I think America's a tough place to crack. Once you cracked it, it's like the goose that lays golden eggs.
Yeah, we were due to go back there, you know, and back at that time, the record companies either sent you to America or to Europe, and we never really went to Europe. They thought our sound was more of an American thing. And as I say, we were due to go back, you know, but by that time, you know...
a lot of bands have broken up just trying to break America, doing endless tours, and they just...
Well, it broke us, do
they
you know
break
what I mean?
before they can get there.
It broke us because we were so exhausted. And then as soon as we got back, we were told we had to start to record our second album in 3 weeks' time. And the tour was all lined up. That's pressure. We didn't have it all written. I just thought, I can't do this. This is not what I want to do, you know.
I've kind of come to the point in my life where I don't want pressure.
No,
I don't want
me
it.
neither.
So if someone says, would you like to do this? I say, pressure? No, thanks.
No,
I'll do things. I'm busy. But
yes,
I do things
only what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wake up, you think, do I want to do this or is this...
This is easy because I'm going to sleep in my own bed tonight. So it's nice. And get fed at the right time, so it's all right. It's not like touring.
That's right. No, I mean, I don't like travelling about. doing gigs.
I think when you're 19, it's great because you have a
Well,
party
it's
every
great
night.
fun, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, you've never done it before, you know.
Yeah.
Suddenly to wrap your jobs in and take off in a van
Yeah.
all over the place, and it's a massive adventure, you know.
Yeah.
You're meeting all the different people, and it's exciting. But then once you sort of get into that music business thing, and it all starts to be planned out for you and scheduled, and interviews here, there, and in between it all, you start to soon think, well, I'm not making any money at this either, and you just think you're using a lot of your energy, and then you burn out. So you've given it all, and you haven't really had any financial reward or anything. And
I think you can burn out in any job, really, but
Oh, yes.
much faster with music.
Oh, faster, yeah. It's physical, mental, spiritual. It's all of them. You know, it's the funny old thing. You know.
But I think it's better. You know, when you're a kid, you go on a scout camp, and all the way there, you're moaning, oh, the food's lousy, the weather's lousy, and you come back, and a year later, you think, oh, I didn't have a great time. It's a bit like that, isn't it? You remember the good bits.
It is. You don't regret it.
No.
For one moment.
Well, you meet some nice people, you keep in touch.
It's made you the person that you are, really. You know.
So just go back in time before that. When you were a kid, what made you think, I think I'll go and sing?
No, it never crossed my mind.
They're not?
No, my mother was musical. Her side of the family, all her sisters could sing in harmony and everything. So
nice.
She could sing. And but I never did any music. I mean, I got to about 12 and I asked if I could have a guitar. They got me a second-hand guitar, and I learned a few chords. And
hard work, isn't it, when you first pick up a guitar?
It was a Spanish guitar with a great big neck like that and nylon strings. I don't know how I managed with it. It was, but yeah, I got the chord book, you know, and I tried to learn the chords. And then a bit later on, I met this lad who played acoustic guitar. So I asked if I could get one out of her friend's catalogue, you know, Echo guitar, jumbo. And so she paid for it each week. So I had a decent guitar, and I teamed up with this other lad who had an acoustic guitar, and we did a couple of folk clubs. We did things like Andy Warhol and Bruce Springsteen's song, and I can't remember what else, a Kinks song.
That's quite a leap then from nowhere to being on a stage in front of people.
It was just in a local pub, and it was a folk night, and I think we did it twice, so that was that. And I didn't do it anymore. And then I sort of met Gary Chaplin, who lived in the same place. He was really into his music.
He was got the glasses.
Yeah, he tried to put loads of bands together. He was a putter of bands together. And he didn't have a band, but he said, will you come and sing? And I thought, yeah, I can do that. And we had a different drummer and a different bass player. Played at the school and did covers of Jonathan Richman and stuff like that, Ramones. And then after that Christmas, we got different bass player, Rob, and Gary the drummer. And then
Rob's the tall guy, isn't he?
Yes, that's my husband.
Oh, he's married him? Oh,
yes.
How nice.
Yeah. So we've been together a lot. I was married previously. I absconded and...
to Italy?
No. Just to nowhere.
Anywhere.
To Liverpool.
Yeah.
Just as the riots broke out in front of where we lived.
Oh.
So anyway, our first proper gig was at the Roxy.
Oh.
In April.
That's straight into the deep end, then, isn't it?
Straight in, yeah. But my boyfriend at the time and Gary were very active. They would ring people like Richard Boone, and we would get Buzzcock supports in Manchester, Liverpool. They'd ring Joningham.
Oh, him.
And
tall guy, yeah.
Yeah, and another guy and they used to pester them. And
I remember Joningham. I remember him saying to me, I don't know why he said, I don't know what the conversation was. He said, every band that goes on a stage must think they're the best band in the world ever. I don't think they do, but it was a kind of an idea he had. You know, that's what you have to be like. Yeah.
Well, I think they were managing Generation X, and people, and Gary would pester people, and we'd get supports in the northeast. The Vibrators would ask us.
Yeah.
All the punk bands would ask us because we were the only punk band.
Yeah,
up there,
also, I think the name Penetration, it sounds like you already know the name. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those names you think you've heard of it already because it's a word. There should be a band called that. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those
Well,
words.
we couldn't think of a name when we did. Before we got the new members in, we'd done one thing as the point, and we didn't like it, and we couldn't think of a name, and we had to think of one really quickly because we'd got like a gig, we were getting interest, and there was a poster on Peter's wall. It was the Iggy Pop. It was a fanzine called Penetration from the Iggy Pop song, and we just thought, yeah, that'll do, and that's how it came about. And sometimes you think, was it the right name? Because you never. You didn't get airplay or anything, but then again, that's the name we chose and that was it. But we didn't think about it too much. You didn't think about anything too much back then. You just went,
it all moved too
let's
quickly.
do that. Yeah.
So that lineup stayed together for a fair while then, till 79.
Well, no, Gary left actually just after that Italian tour.
Did he?
Yes.
So who was playing drums on that tour we did with...
Well, Gary was small and was with us, but Gary Chaplin, the guitarist...
Oh, that Gary, sorry.
With the glasses,
Gary's, yeah.
He left just after that tour.
Oh, right.
And we had a Buzzcocks tour coming up, and we had about a week to draft a fan in to learn the parts. And Gary had taught him the parts, so he came in to do that Buzzcocks tour, and we did loads of gigs. We'd had... Don't Dictate had been released in November 77 on Virgin as a one-off single, but they weren't interested in signing us. No one was. And we were doing all right. And Virgin got back in. We'd done some demos with Virgin and with Gary Chaplin. And then Virgin got back in touch and said, I think you should add another member. So we added another guitarist.
Yeah.
And that was the lineup that did the first album.
You didn't play guitar on stage at that time?
No, I never did until afterwards. And
Yeah, one guitar's a bit thin, isn't it, I suppose? Yeah.
Well, so we had two guitars, and the second guitarist was very technical. The fans didn't really like it. They thought he was heavy metal. They didn't know we'd even added him into the...
They don't like change
band.
anyway, do they?
No, they don't. We had a gig at the 100 Club. It was packed. And we brought this other guitarist on, this Fred, and they just didn't like him at all. They called him heavy metal, or Penetration have turned heavy metal. There was a lot of animosity about adding this other member, but he did a great job, we did both albums with the 5-piece.
Yeah.
You can't pander to what you think people want. Those people don't know what they want.
Yeah, and there are bands that don't change one iota for years.
Yes.
And they just play the same stuff and the sounds are happy, I suppose.
Yes,
They just lack a known change.
Some people like
continuity.
That. Yeah. They don't really want you to move away or move on. But we were a band that liked to move on,
Yeah. So, 79 you broke up because it just blew up, all that touring and whatever.
Yeah, it sort of just all became too much.
So what happened after that?
Well, after that, we split up in December 79, dropped everyone off at their houses and never saw them again for like years. And there was only me and Rob, the bass player, stayed together. So we bought a 4-track T-Ac and me and him started to write stuff. We had no aim, no purpose. Didn't want a band again. I'd done with that. So we just started writing songs on this 4-track. And we still had the manager at that point, but we got asked to do a John Peel session very early on, well, a couple of months after we'd split, and we were just working on a 4-track. We didn't have a band or anything, but it seemed like too good an opportunity to miss, so we had the drummer out the drones, played on the drums, and Alan Rawlins played on...
Oh. Yeah.
On the John Peel session.
That's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah, so we recorded 4 of the songs that we'd been working on for this John Peel session. So then it gave the manager some music and he took it around and RSO, the Bee Gees label at the time, were looking to start a little offshoot of something more contemporary, and they were signing people like the Associates and stuff. And they got very interested, but I didn't want a band, and the idea came that we'd ask Martin Hannett to do it, of Factory Records. He's doing all the Joy Division stuff, but he also had a house band, the Invisible Girls, and so we did that. So I did an album, Pauline Murray and the Invisible Girls, that came out. Well, we did a single with them first, Dream Sequence, and that came out in the spring, early summer. We tried him out with that, and then we did an album, and it came out in the autumn. And then we did a big tour with him and with us and John Cooper Clarke, with the same band with a few interchangeable members. And it was really great album and all that. But then when we went into 1981, that record company went bust. You wouldn't think RSO could go bust, but they'd had this Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club film out that had absolutely bombed and sent them down the pan. So I had no record deal again.
Well, if Lehman's Bank could go bust, anyone could go bust.
Well, yeah. So back to and then I got with Rob, and we took off, and I couldn't face to do any more demos and look for another deal. I just thought, I just don't want to do this. So after that, I got very depressed, and then moved back to Newcastle. And I did put another band together of solo stuff. We did do tours, but that we sorted ourselves. We did it, put records out that we did ourselves. And then in 1989, I thought, I've had enough again, you know. And I set up music rehearsal studios for bands, and it was a bit of a pipe dream. And I found some premises to rent, and I set up music rehearsal studios. I started with 2 rooms, then it expanded to 3, then 4. And then I bought, I was there for 21 years in the rented building, and then I bought an ex-council building, an ex-council school dinner depot. And it was a mess. But we did all the backups, and so I could get my rehearsals in there, and then other units are rented out to other bands. But I couldn't get through COVID. It was a 30-year business. COVID hit, couldn't let anyone in, and it went on and on. And in the end, my husband and son both said, we're going to have to rent these rooms out. I had 4 rooms, and once I'd rented 2 out to permanent tenants, that was game over for my business. But my son has took it over, and he's got a great recording studio there, so he took over 2 of the rooms. We got it all done up, and he's really busy doing that. But my core business is gone, so I had to step back, and probably retirement age anyway, you know. I was probably going to have to look at how I was going to get out. But we still have the building. My son runs the studio. It's a great studio. And it's all rented to musicians like Maxime Park and, you know, working bands. So I did all that. And then we reformed the band in 2001. I had 2 kids.
Once you've got kids, you're never any peace, is there? Because you always worry about them.
You worry about everything. You know, the gigs.
But this retirement thing, everyone keeps saying, are you going to retire? I said, no, I'm going to work harder. Because I just think, why don't you stop altogether?
No, I don't want to just...
You need a purpose, don't you? Get up and do something.
You don't want to just... I mean...
You can do what you like, but you have to do something.
I think so. I think you've got to keep yourself interested in things, you know, and do things. Like I say, I mean, I'm 68 now, and I'm busy, you know. I've been carting guitars on trains and all of that, and
but I think when you're doing creative stuff, you get sick of it and you go away, and then give it a couple of years, you think, I think I could do another song.
I'll tell you what I started doing recently. I do paint and stuff like that, and as I say, I wrote that book a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was a hard job, wasn't it?
I do penetration gigs and acoustic gigs. Not many, the penetration ones. We've done quite a lot, but you know, I don't do a lot. I started doing painting by numbers. I thought, wow, that's very punk rock. It's so relaxing. You know, I know loads of artists, and it's like, well, actually, I've been doing some painting by numbers. I think it's quite funny, but it's really relaxing, and you can do that instead of sitting on YouTube for hours on end or something like that.
I always ask painters, serious painters, if they've ever tried painting by numbers. It's a sort of big insult.
That's an insult, isn't it? I feel like it's the punk rock of painting.
I can't help myself. I have
painting
to
by numbers. Do you know what I mean? I used to do it when I was a kid, and I just suddenly thought, I'm going to get some painting by numbers.
Well, this is it. You can actually do what you like. Because when you're young, you've got to do what you've got to do to get where you're trying to go, or to get a house, or to get whatever.
You've got all the pressures of society, of where you should be on a social timeline.
You weren't born in Newcastle, though, were you? I know you sound a bit that way, but was it? I think it was somewhere else, if I remember rightly.
No, I was born in a mining village, very small one, about 7 miles west of Durham, called Waterhouses.
Oh, okay.
And it was like a Quaker village. It had a coal mine, school, chapel, community centre, and only a few streets. And
not many recording studios then.
Nothing. When I was born, they were already starting to demolish some of the streets. By 1968, when I would have been 10, they closed the coal mine down, and then they had this policy of Category D where they demolished about 134 mining villages in the whole of the Durham. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, in the whole of the Durham coalfield. They were closing all the coal mines in the whole area, and they deemed certain places this Category D. It was very controversial at the time, and basically they let these places die, and then they very quickly demolished them right down past the foundations. There's no sign that there was ever anything there. It was very controversial.
So it's just grass now, wasn't it?
Tall trees, fast-growing trees that they planted on topsoil. And a guy, and it looks like a wood now, it's called Waterhouses wood. It's creepy. And it is. This guy was walking his dog, and a tree fell on him and killed him in that wood.
Oh, because the roots can't get down.
Because the roots can't.
Oh, dear.
They were so quick to get something to cover it. There's not even a plaque to say it was there.
Governments, it's just...
It was a Labour government, funnily enough. But anyway, when I was 10, we moved...
They're all useless, I think.
Yeah. When I was 10, we moved 7 miles south of Durham to Ferry Hill, which was classed as a town. So it was much bigger. But I didn't know...
The Las Vegas of the North.
Eh?
The Las Vegas of the North.
Not really. There was a mining part of it, Dean Bank, where I lived, which was rough. And then it was an old coaching stop-off, you know. It was up a bank, and there was loads of pubs, coaching inns. But anyway, I was 10. I went to the last year of junior school. I didn't know anybody. I felt like a total alien. And luckily, I went to the grammar school, which was lucky for me because I was getting bullied by the girls. And they just didn't like me. I didn't know anyone. So it was quite disturbing when I think about it.
Scary when you're young, yeah.
Yeah. So and then I met an older guy when I was about 14. Went to the local youth club on my own over the road, and I met him, and he was really into music. So we started going to gigs, and he used to buy records all the time. So I heard all the great records, went to great gigs.
Oh, that's it now.
And that all led me to where I was going.
So that was your apprenticeship. That makes more sense now. Because when you said it, just picked up yourself and went and did a gig, I thought, that just sounds right. But yeah, there you did all that.
Yeah. I had a massive knowledge of
so
music.
who you enjoying back then to listen to?
Well, it would probably be starting with things like... I've always loved music, and as a child I grew up too young in the 60s, but saw all those great black and white Top of the Pops things, and I like Motown, and I like, soul and all that. And then into the early 70s, Carole King and things like that. Yeah. And then when I met him, it would be... First of all, it was Rod Stewart, with his hair, and then it would be Mark Bolan, and then it would be Bowie, and we saw Bowie when he was playing to a quarter full City Hall, and then it would be all the touring bands that were coming around, all the Jethro Tull, ELP, whoever was playing in the area, we would go and see. And even at a young age, we went to see Lou Reed at Crystal Palace Ball. We'd come to London and see bands like Fox. We followed Cockney Rebel on a tour, wherever we could go. Yeah. And my mum and dad were very lenient when I think about it. They trusted this lad.
They were. Yeah.
And I was sort of seeing bands from 14-year-old.
I seem to remember on tour you were quite nice to the fans that would just tag along and sleep rough and just hang on with it. I suppose that's why, because you were a bit like that yourself when you were younger.
we'd already done that bit, you know, sleeping on Victoria Station after a gig in the freezing cold.
Yeah, that's the cold I couldn't do. I wouldn't mind being on my own, but I didn't want the cold defeated me.
Well, we slept one night. It was bloody freezing, and I think there was a British Airways building nearby that had a doorway with a bit of warm air, sort of. But we used to travel about all over the place, you know. So I had a really, really good education. Firsthand in anything new that was coming out, he would buy it, and we used to deep listen to stuff. You know, there was nothing else to do where we lived, and Gary Chaplin would come along as well, and we'd listen to the latest whatever in Peter's bedroom, and you listened to these things, you know, over and over. Do you know what I mean? And looked at the sleeves. Total music fans, you know.
What was your favourite Tamla Motown band?
Oh God, I don't know.
Tough question.
I like all of it really. I like things that precede that as well. I like girl group things, you know, like the Chiffons and stuff like that. Favourite, I don't know, Marvin Gaye, all of it. I mean, I used to have an album called Motown Chartbusters, the gold one.
Volume 10 or something.
I can't remember the volume. It used to have a really nice song that I like, A Rose for My Rose, you know. I just think all the songs were uplifting, you know.
They were great. We went to visit on tour. We went to Detroit and we went to visit Hitsville, USA, where they recorded the stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a semi-detached house.
There's a documentary about that. Have you seen it? Yeah, in the basement.
Yeah, and you go in there, you think, this is it. And there's a little room about the size of this for the control room, and another room with the instruments. And they recorded it, and I thought, they must have been their first few records. But you look at the thing, they recorded it till about 1970.
There's a fantastic documentary about that. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't seen it, but let me just see it.
It's interviewing all the old guys, the old drummers and all that, and they show you that, and they have old footage and stuff, and it's an amazing documentary.
What I think come out of that place, it's unbelievable. The music came out of there.
Absolutely, you know, and the musicians were, I mean, there were one song after the other, you know, like a conveyor belt of song. Well, they had brilliant songwriters. Yeah. And it's just a conveyor belt, but so brilliant and so primitive.
Yeah. So, any regrets looking back to your whole music journey?
Not really, no. No.
The good and the bad needs to be together, doesn't it, really?
I don't think you can regret things, the choices that you make.
Well, if you did make the choices, you don't know where that would have gone, so there's no point in worrying about it.
It's many sliding doors, isn't it? You know, if I hadn't met that guy, I would have been doing that, and so I don't have any regrets at all. I think life leads you to this point sat here, you know.
Well, you've been guided by the sound of it on a path.
Well,
a few crazy diversions.
I don't know, but you try to use your instincts. You try to do the right thing, you know.
Got to trust your gut.
You've got to trust that, and is this right or wrong? And if it's wrong, do something. And I've done some drastic things, you know.
Are you doing some kind of talking tour or something? I saw somewhere.
Yeah, John Robb, do you know John?
Yeah,
Robb?
John. Yeah.
He's just been doing a book tour.
He never stops, does he?
He's relentless. Like, relentless. He's a really nice chap.
I watched a vampire comedy called What We Do in the Shadows, and there's a bloke called Nandor the Relentless. I think it's showing Rob the Relentless.
Absolutely relentless. I've said to him many times, I don't know how you get the energy to do this. Because he never stops with anything. And he's been doing a tour, and he's had guest people on various places. So I did Carlisle, Newcastle, I did Leeds, I did Pocklington, I did Nottingham. I think he had Gay.
It's like the old days.
Yeah, she did Brighton, and London, and it's a big tour, you know, and he talks for an hour, non-stop, little tiny break, and interviews you, you know. So I've just done that, and when my book came out, I did like a tour where I went around and I played a few songs as well, you know.
When you did the book, were you told to read other people's books first before you do your own one?
No, I've obviously read, you know, a lot of books, you know, but
they made me read a few.
I'd already read a few,
but
it was a very daunting thing because you might have read a few, but that's not you.
Oh yeah, it's a tough job.
You have to it's you, not them. I mean, I read Patti Smith, Just Kids. It's great. I read all sorts of stuff, but that's them.
Yes.
You can't really get any guidance from it. Your life is not theirs, and you have to do yours.
I read about 6 autobiographies, and the one I really liked was David Niven.
Right.
The Moon's a Balloon. Fantastic book. And when I read that, I thought, this is the way you do this. This is what I need to do.
I didn't have a clue how to do it.
Yeah, I know. Well, none of us do the first time. If I did it again, that'd be a piece of cake now. I know how to do it. But doing it first time, God, I had bits of paper all over the floor.
Well, it was very unsettling, you know, when... I mean, I wasn't even looking to do it. And someone I know he does a lot of punk academic things together. He does a lot of layouts and like a graphic designer. He approached Omnibus and they said yes. And I was like, oh my God. And I thought I was going to get help. And then I realised I was on my own with it. And I had to just...
Only you can tell the story, can't you?
Well,
really?
yeah, for the first couple of chapters, I'd already done quite a lot of family research. So I could... Those early years, it's your vivid memories of childhood. And I've done a bit of family research, so I could put family background into it.
I think you need to, because everything that happens in your life comes from when you were a kid, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then the next thing, you know, I had to do from memory, my teens, and I had to do research because all these gigs I'm talking about, I couldn't remember when they were, and people are real sticklers for stuff like that.
Right, I'll point out to you.
So I had to, you know, really look into when I'd gone to those gigs. And then, you know, when we did the band, you know, I kept a diary 2 years running, mainly 1978, which was our big year. And every day I filled that diary in. So I had that as a resource. I had scrapbooks that I'd kept from beginning to end. And I just had to find what I could and research to get dates right.
Yeah, when I did my research, everything I thought happened was completely wrong. The dates were wrong, who did what was completely wrong.
Absolutely, yeah. Your memory it's unreliable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that.
I remember tiny details like that bird.
Yes.
In Italy, we were talking about earlier.
Well, yeah.
I remember that. I'd forgotten that, but when you said it, I remembered it.
I don't remember that, but I do remember.
I remember the staff were really freaked out. It was a strange experience.
I do remember that big hotel empty.
Yeah. So we both had a lot of fun doing music, and we've both come to a place where we now just want to enjoy ourselves and not do stupid things or put under pressure. So it's nice, but hopefully we still got some more things in us to do.
Well, I think there's probably different things, you know, in you. You know, I mean, you know, you do the chiropractic. I actually trained in reflexology in 2000.
Oh, okay.
So I'm qualified reflexologist, but I never did it as a profession because I was running the rehearsal studios. I had 2 young children, and I didn't want to start doing that. Yeah. But it's a fascinating thing as well.
Oh yeah, but you've got to put the time into it. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to keep practicing it. But I've done all sorts. I've had a choir at the studios. I put a choir together.
That'd be nice.
It was wonderful. You know, I learned a lot from doing it. There were people who'd never sung, and I had great time choosing all the songs. It was very uplifting songs. And I worked out all the harmony parts, which was really good. And then we all would sing them. And it's a wonderful thing, that, to sing with other people.
And you know, when they'll go home to their lives, they're having these songs ringing around their heads.
Yeah, and I had to stop it because things were getting busy with the band again. It was starting to get a little bit... some of the characters, and I was thinking we got to a really good point with the singing, but then I was thinking I was having to look for places to perform it, and then it started becoming a bit of a burden, and I just thought, and then lockdown happened, and I just thought can't really do this.
It can feel like you created a monster and you've got to feed it.
Yes, and then I had to knock it on the head, which was a shame.
Yeah, great to come back to another song.
It was lovely, you know, people enjoyed what they did at the time. So I think now a lot of the things you do, you got to do in the moment and appreciate the moment that you're doing it, and, you know, you've done it. And
I think we realise now, looking back, we won't always be young. So we thought when we were young,
never thought about. I thought I was old at 23. I thought I'm over the hill now. That's it.
Seems dark now. Yeah.
23.
I remember. I think I must have been 20 years old or something when Keith Moon died at 32. And I turned around and said, "Oh, well, he's had a good life." And it's now that it's ludicrous. You know, 32. He's hardly
we
started.
thought everyone was ancient. You know.
Yeah.
And now we're the ancient ones.
Yeah. Well, we've got the wisdom.
We do have a different type of wisdom. We're very different to our parents or grandparents.
Oh yeah,
you
completely
know.
different. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And we can pass that on to our kids and
yeah,
they can use
a
it.
60-year-old in the past, you know, they'd have had Ina Sharples. Do you know what I mean?
I'm always talking about English Sharp.
Yeah, you know, I
She's
don't
a funny
know,
character.
you know, with an overcoat and podgy sort of feet and shoes. I mean,
Yeah.
we not try, but we've been very
We've
lucky.
moved on. Yeah, yeah.
That the span that we've had's been quite an interesting.
Yeah, I try and avoid looking like Albert Tatlock, that's for sure.
Yeah, with the cap, people look like that. Yeah, like looking like old men. But we are old people now.
Well, you're as old as you feel.
Yeah, you do feel pretty old sometimes, and then other times you're all right. You just got to keep your interest and try and keep active and
It's one of my
keep
favourite jokes.
open-minded, you know.
Yeah. It's one of my favourite jokes. Young women come in all the time and they've had a back problem, they're limping, and they say, "Oh, I feel like an old woman." I say, "That's funny, I feel like a young woman."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you've just got to take it as it comes, don't you? You've got to feel lucky that you can. I feel very lucky that I can still get on a train and cart all the bags about. And
You're doing a lot
I've
still.
struggled,
Charge
but,
around, yeah.
you know, I mean, you've got to make yourself do things, challenging things.
Always.
You know, yes.
Discipline, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my discipline now is doing this podcast every week, and then hopefully it'll grow and grow and get more and more. Not just musicians, there will other people in, like actors, comedians. All sorts.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
People have all had different lives, haven't they? You know, and different experiences. Everyone's got a story to tell.
Yeah.
Even if you've worked in an office your whole life, you could write a book.
Oh yeah, everyone's got stories.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
some of the quiet ones you have to watch out. That's some weird stuff happening.
I know. Yeah. So yeah, we're still here, so that's all good.
Well, Pauline, you've got to rush back to Newcastle now.
Yes, I do.
So it's been lovely to reconnect after all these years. And hopefully we'll do this again in 50 years' time.
Oh, cool. You'll be lucky. This is it.
That's lovely. Thank you very much for coming. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Nice to speak to you.
You can now buy a copy of my autobiography, The Strange Case of Dr. Terry and Mr. Chimes. It's £12 for a signed copy, plus postage. If you want one, you just go to terrychimes.com.
All the art that makes up the set, or RockandRoll Confessions, is made by me, Mark Illuminati. Check out all my work at www.illuminatineon.com. The link to contact me is in the description. All the art is for sale, and I hope you like it. It's got a nice punky feel to it, and I've pretty much covered all our favourite bands. Enjoy.